Welcome to Messy Mondays, where healthcare admin gets real, one mess at a time. I'm Brittany,
I'm Satasha.
and it's a messy Monday. All
And it's
right,
also the end of the year. Y'all
2026.
made it. Y'all made it. Y'all made it. 2026 is around the corner. A couple of just give us a few hours. Y'all made it. Y'all made it. Well, a few days, not hours, few days.
Few
Y'all made
days.
it. So happy for you guys. It's been a long year.
It's been a long year. So, what we are going to talk about in today's topic is a 2026 provider reset checklist. So this list is just going to go over everything you all need to make sure y'all have in order come the beginning of the year because this came fast. January came really fast, and the insurance chaos comes much faster. So, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So, as you guys know, 2026 is right around the corner and everything starts over. We have a brand new chaos for 2026 and we just have to be prepared going into the year. And so here are just a couple of takeaways that we feel like will be great pointers for you guys to take back and to implement going into 2026 at the beginning of the year. So, what's the first thing, Brittany?
Deductibles and out of pocket costs reset. Let me say it again. Deductibles and out of pocket max reset January 1. So, what does that mean? You all need to be checking insurances and seeing if your client patient has deductible and charging them for those out of pocket costs because you don't want them to rack up a bill at the beginning of the year or not come back and then you can't collect.
Absolutely. So it's good to go ahead and send them notices out. Hey, Jane Doe, you got $2,500 in deductible and it restarts this year. So make sure you have your flex card, cash, a good debit card on file so that we can run those payments. So just keep that in mind. Everything restarts. So patients that haven't been paying anything out of pocket in December, they might end January.
And I
Yep.
just want to stress because I have a high deductible policy myself. So, however, is not calendar year. Mine resets in July. So that's why it is very important that you check because some may not have a calendar year policy. Theirs might be middle of the year or, so just check to be on the safe side to ensure because you don't want to just build a claim and then turn around and um, they owe you this money because you didn't check the insurance beforehand.
Yeah, and always check to see if they have any secondary insurance. And if they qualify for the lower income patients that you have, tell them to apply for Medicaid as their secondary insurance. And that it helps out a lot. The most that and Medicaid can tell you is no. So tell them not to be afraid to put in those applications to see if they qualify for a Medicaid plan.
Yeah. Right. Number two, this kind of goes hand in hand. So sometimes you have employers, they change the insurance for the employees so they have new insurance in the new year. It's just best practice. Everybody that comes in, whether it be in person or whether you do virtual sessions, just ask them, has your insurance changed? That should be just something that you should just ask up front, making sure that everything is still either the same or if it's changed, you can go ahead and get that update. That way there is no delay.
Absolutely. And also think that sometimes the employer not only might change insurances altogether, but they might change the type of plan that they are. So some of you guys are only PPO, some of you guys are only HMO, and those are the type of things that you need to see because if the employer switches the type of plan that they have, then you might now be out of network. Um, and doing a provider update to try to get into those networks is all good and dandy, but you still want to check in advance before seeing the patient so you can be reimbursed for those plans if you are not in network. You would have to work out something with the insured to make sure that you're reimbursed for the services that you guys are providing. So it's non-negotiable. You guys need to be checking eligibility for January the 1st. Y'all need to be checking it every appointment, but I digress. At least check it in January.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
What we got next on the list?
Stick with insurance. Let's stick with insurance. Recredentialing. Make sure that everything is up to date with the insurance companies. Even if things happen throughout the year, you didn't tell them that you had a new phone number. You didn't tell them you had a new fax number. You didn't tell them that you moved or that you moved units. Maybe you're in the same building, but if you're not in suite 8 anymore and you're in suite 13, like those are the type of things. So everything that transitioned or changed about you, maybe you got married and have a different last name. Um, Things like that. January, we need to be reaching out to the insurance company and make sure all your demographic information is up to date. Okay. So, and make sure, hey, when is my recredentialing date? So, if it's in January or if it's in June, at least you have that date so you can make sure you have everything, all your ducks in a row to perform whatever that they need to do for your recredentialing. Make sure your CAQ updates are happening January 1st. You're supposed to be doing the Merry 90 days. But again, this is just your reminder. It's January 1st. Make sure everything is up to date and the same.
Yes. This goes hand in hand, kind of CAQH and insurance, your malpractice insurance. If that needs to be renewed, please don't wait till the last minute to do that. Most insurances, if you try, what we've noticed is they'll actually reach out to you well enough in advance, like, hey, your policy is about to expire. Have you updated this? So if you can, go ahead and take care of that beforehand, take care of it, and then update it and upload it in CAQH, and then also let the insurance company know, like, my, malpractice insurance has been renewed.
Absolutely. And just to go into that, let's roll into licenses. Make sure that all your licenses are renewed. It might not be until December, or it might not be until June, or some odd month of the year. January, you want to make sure, hey, can I go ahead and do it now? Can I extend it now? Let's just make sure all our licenses, whether it's a building license, maybe it's a board certification, your any type of licenses that you might have, whether it's business related or individually related. And if you're an owner of a practice, you need to be reaching out to your staff members to make sure, hey, this is your first of the year reminders. You need to get your CEU together. You need to do this and the third. Just let them know the list of things that they need to do so they can still stay credited within your practice.
Yes. Um, and then just to add to what Satasha said, a new one that we're seeing that insurance companies are asking about is a cultural competency training. So if you don't have that, we definitely recommend going ahead and getting that, because from what it seems and what it sounds like, they're going to make that mandatory eventually. So if you want to go ahead, they give you do like I think you watch a video or something, and then they give you like a little certificate after completion saying that you did it. And I think you might get a couple CEUs for it as well, depending on which one you take. So get it out the way. Best practice.
Exactly. Best practice.
What else?
It's just organization. Really, a lot of organization. Make sure y'all your practice policies are updated for the new year. Make sure that your payer portals, all accesses are good and going. Make sure that you're still liking your EHR system, and everything in your EHR system has been updated the way that it's supposed to be. What else, Britt?
Um, Um, fee schedule, if you haven't, because again, the new year is very close by. But your fee schedule, your self-pay, review that stuff because you can update. We've had some clients where they haven't updated their fee schedule in years. And so they're billing one amount, but the insurances are paying way more, but their insurance is only going to pay you what you bill. They're not going to pay you more and say, "Oh, hey, by the way, you're not getting your full reimbursement," because they don't care. So review that stuff and make the necessary changes and updates. We say, Satasha and I, best practice, go up on your rates at least what, $25, $30. We're not telling you make like a huge increase. And you can, if you have self-pay clients that are locked into a rate, you can keep them at that rate and just say that'll be the discounted rate they're kind of grandfathered in. But for like any new clients or patients that you get, you can set them at that new rate.
Exactly. And like she said, insurance companies, if you're billing 120, but the natural reimbursement rate is 150, they're only going to pay you 120 because that's what you billed. And so you're losing out on $30 worth of revenue. So it's always good to look at stuff, update it, do a small increase every year. Just like when you go to the gas station, when you go looking at clothes. I know y'all been in Walmart. I know this is Chris. It's around the holiday season and y'all buying gifts. Y'all see that the Legos cost way more than they did last year and the year before that and the year before that. So it's okay to increase your prices. It really is okay to increase your prices and don't feel bad about it. And if you're giving discounts on self-pay, keep doing that. We're not saying, bust your patients over the head or anything, but definitely with your insurance companies, you want to increase your rates. You definitely want to increase your rates on a yearly basis. Oh,
What else we
what else
got
do we
for you or practices that you all do supervision? So residents or social work or supervisees in social work. If you all are running a practice and you have supervisees and residents, get an agreement. If you don't, please, please, please get an agreement or make them sign something. We've seen it happen so many times where providers will hire residents and supervisees in social work and they get their supervision and they say adios. So, if you can get them to sign an agreement and just say, hey, I'll stay on board for a year, 18 months, or something like that. That way, it kind of sets your cost off by keeping them around after they, have passed their tests and got fully licensed. It kind of covers the credentialing cost because you have to credential them once they're fully licensed. So it's just kind of like a incentive almost where, you're keeping them on board and then they are reimbursing you for the supervision and the credentialing costs. And by the time a couple months go, they paid for it, but it's kind of security, guys. Security.
Yeah, and to stay on that same track, your supervisees keep track of their hours. You need to be doing audits on their hours, because we've seen it where people will stay on staff as a supervisee for years without taking their test. That is not best practice. That is not best practice at all. And it's really taken away from you because you can have other supervisees coming in while they are full-time employees at your practice seeing those same patients. But it's always good to evaluate and audit their files, look at their hours and see what they have going on. And then you need to have staff meetings about, hey, we'll do supervision for 2.5 years. After that, I need to see you taking the test. I need to see evidence of you getting ready to take your test and stuff like that. So just stay along with it. Everybody, and not even just your supervisees, any staff members, everything needs to be reevaluated. Their pay needs to be evaluated. Any policies that they've signed for you need to be updated and reevaluated and re-signed. Not saying you have to do amendments or anything, but just make sure all practice policies are given back to your employees so they can know what the rules, stipulations, pay model, pay dates, things like that are. So a lot of administrative stuff needs to go into place when it comes to starting a new year.
Definitely. And then another one, just last one for me. Um, if you have like referral lists or like crisis resource list or anything of that sort, update that. Make sure that those places that you have on the list are still accepting people. I just sometimes it bothers me when we give out that list and then they'll go through the whole list and they're like, oh, I called every number on the list and they said that they're not taking new patients or things like that. So just make sure you just do like a refresher and make sure that the list is fresh and that those people that you have on those referrals or resources that they are still existing as well. So that's another one. So just, best practices, not just in 2026. This just should be like a standard thing that you do each year for your practice, honestly.
Absolutely. Um, And I think that's our end of year recap. None anything else I can think about besides stay on top of your stuff. Administrative stuff is extremely important. So, new year, new deductibles, new requirements, but it's gonna be the same messy Monday energy. We're gonna be here 2026 every Monday, getting on your nerves, dropping some little nuggets. So go ahead now, and not in February, and get yourselves together. Hit us up if you need us. We got you.
Yes, a little cleanup now equals fewer fires later, people. Your future self and your team will thank you if you do these little things now versus later. So save this
Absolutely.
video, share it.
The
Our
links,
messy
the
Monday.
links, the
Happy
links.
New
Yes.
Year.
Happy
All
New
the
Year. And if you found this helpful, again, you need to share it. Join us next Monday in 2026, baby, to help you keep your practice game tight. Until then, keep it cute, keep it ethical, and take care of your patients. Bye.
bye.